Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Big Talk here on Global Televisions, where we take a look at what's really happening in the world of politics in the country. I don't also forget the fact that I earlier had said that in Rivers State, All Progressive Congress, there seems to be loggerheads who is the chairman of the party. Recall last week that the Rivers State High Court has given a statement regarding the fact that Emeka should be returned back to office. And it has also sparked a lot of concern from our chiefs, Tony Okorocha, who is insisting that, on the grounds of the fact that he still remains the caretaker committee chairman right there in Rivers State. But let's begin tonight by highlighting the fact that the federal government has inaugurated a 10-man inter-ministerial committee to enforce the Supreme Court judgment delivered on the 11th June 2024, granting financial autonomy to local government in the country. The committee, which has the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator Kume, is mandated to ensure that local governments in the country are granted full autonomy to operate effectively without interference of state governors. Now, due to the issues in Rivers State, the All Progressive Congress Caretaker Committee in Rivers State, Tony Okorocha, has disclosed of a well-orchestrated plot to hijack the party in the state with a view to subordinate it to the state government as a part of a broader design to frustrate the re-election of President Bola Tinubu. These are also the concerns and the issue coming in from that state. Tonight, I'm being joined by the Caretaker Committee Chairman, Chief Tony, who joins us from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, to give the broader perspective and understanding about the situation in the party, the concern about the re-election of President Bola Tinubu, and how it looks that some members of the APC are trying to frustrate the concern and the progress of the party in Rivers State. There are a lot of controversies, litigation. Some who said the matter is still in court. The matter everybody should allow the matter to be in the court, and also before coming out to claim that I'm the chairman of the party. But to what end is this fight between the maker and Chief Okorocha? Chief, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Big Talk here on Global Television.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
All right. I understand the situation. You've reacted and you've rejected the judgment from the court. It now looks as if you are not obeying the court order. What makes you differ from that particular judgment from the Rivers State High Court?
I'm so sorry. It would be wrong to say that I differ, or rather I reject the judgment of the court. I don't. I am not in tandem with the judgment. That's a simple thing to say, the way to say it. The reason is that I had written a petition against the trial judge, and that petition was dated on the 20th of March 2024 and delivered to him, even in an open court. My lawyer, Senior Advocate Solomon Omo, SAN, showed him the letter too, which he acknowledged. In fact, in one of the sittings too, the secretary of party, my secretary of the caretaker committee, was in the court, and he noticed him, identified him, and asked him to stand up and wave the court the petition at him and say, "You went and wrote a petition against me. I am human." So at that point, look at the time we wrote petition against him and the time he churned out the procured judgment, March and August, and it is right. Some people will say, "Oh, you want to pick and choose." No, we are aware that the man had been hired to do a job by a particular set of people, and that those people, because we're politicians, those people too had returned back to us to say to us, "Look, we have hired this man, we have conscripted him, we have contracted him to do X, Y, Z against the party." So the way it is that there are two ways out of it or around it. One is to either do a petition against him so that the man recuses himself from the matter, or be ready for whatever that will happen, because nothing at all will come out of it, that the man is hell-bent on delivering judgment against our party. And of course, we have had the scenario in 2023 when APC, Rivers State, went to National Convention as opposition. I'm sure the records are there, and a lot of Nigerians are aware that we went to what you call the National Convention, where the presidential candidate was elected as opposition. And what has that helped us? What have we achieved? In that big mistake that we made. It was the same Emeka Beke's group that people like you are hearing about now that led APC to a national convention that we lost. It took us to Amechi's camp. Amechi was a presidential aspirant.
All right, I'm sorry to cut you short because it looks that this is a follow-up to what happened in 2023 election. It now looks as if clearly Emeka was supporting one from Rivers State. Are you saying that it wasn't the full agreement of the people of Rivers State to support Amechi in the bid of the presidential ticket?
Where does that happen? That everybody who is a member of a delegation would support one person? In Lagos, are you saying to me now, are you telling Nigerians that all the delegates that emerged from Lagos State all supported and voted for Tinubu? That's not correct. There was a concurrent. There was an arrangement that was made here that removed anybody that they knew was not going to support Amechi. And so 56 delegates left Rivers State for election, and 56 over 56 voted for Amechi. Are you saying that in APC Rivers State, every other person else acquiesces to Amechi's candidacy? No. Have you again? I'm sure you are following the trend that immediately after the judge gave that procured judgment, that the Emeka Beke and his team, even till tomorrow, are in all radio stations and television stations saying that it is a rebut for Amechi. In other words, this is Amechi that had long left the party. That in the presidential election, he had ordered his people to vote for Atiku and had not come back. He had not repented to say, look, I'm part of the party anymore. That we have had meetings and we invited, and he had shown the state secretary of the party never to invite him to APC meeting anymore. It's the same Amechi that they have proclaimed leader, and that is not only leader of the Rivers APC, but is leader of the South. What do you think is going on? And you think that we should just sit idly by and see what we have labored over time for this number of months to just fluff because there is a judgment of a court? Mind you, it is court of first instance, so it is not even much painful to us. Again, I have told you that the judgment was foretold. So why do I bother? Why am I perturbed when I already know the beginning, the end of it from the beginning? So it didn't make sense to me. I'm sure you are aware that a day after the procured judgment was read, you saw what happened in this country. A crowd that is unprecedented, a president unprecedented, a crowd that can be comparable to none in Nigeria, trumped out under the auspices of a coalition of Renewed Hope Family in Rivers State. And I mean, I think it's talk of the country and talk of the world as we speak. So that's to tell you that we didn't feel perturbed. We know the end gospel. We know where they are going to. And I must also inform you, our lawyers have filed notice of appeal, and they have been served. So, and they have also filed notice of stay of execution. They have all been filed. Now, why that is on? The National Party, the National Working Committee of the party, had come out to declare their position on the matter. So what are we talking about here?
All right, let me get your concern because, I mean, you've also dragged the image of the governor, Simi Fubara, into all of this. You are also saying that it looks that it's also a plot from the government of the day. And the last we checked, the governor is of the People's Democratic Party. How do you feel that he has a hand to what is going on within your party in the state?
I said the governor is in total cahoots with Amechi and Emeka Beke and their cronies. Okay? And I have said to you that we have written a petition that dates back to March 2024. Shouldn't that have told you that we have gathered all of this information? who was doing what, and who was doing that. For them to have chosen a particular judge and given the matter deliberately, and now we have gotten information that this judge had been hired to do a hatchet job. I'm not scared to say it. I'm not. So when we have all of this information, is it now the difficulty? Is the difficulty now in the fact that I should mention names of those who I know are complicit in the matter? The governor of the state has become is very uncomfortable with the opposition that we give, the opposition that we offer in the states. Meaningful opposition for that matter, constructive opposition for that matter. But he is very uncomfortable with it. So he feels that the best thing to do is to see how he can oust us and get a group that will be malleable to be able to defend him. But that is far from being fetched. He's a member of the People's Democratic Party, even though he has also said from in his own voice that he no longer does party, that he does movement. So we will not allow him in that their plan to do anything that would endanger the party in the states. Not under my watch.
Let me get your concern. What has been your next move? The court had made their statement. They've given their order. What was the next move you had took away from the fact that you are insisting, even the National Working Committee, it seems to be backing you, which is also drawing a lot of concern that these are all progressive Congress. So in essence, the party, the National Working Committee, ought to receive the judgment and treat everybody fairly. But it seems they are backing you to remain in office and allowing Emeka to be roaming as the chairman of the party. What's your move? Have you taken a legal action against the judgment?
But I just mentioned to you here that we have filed a notice of appeal and served them. We have also served them stay of execution motion. They all have it. That is what we have done on that side. On the other side, there are a plethora of judgments from the Supreme Court that says to courts that intra-party matters are completely out of your presence. You don't have authority to venture into intra-party matters. Leave the intra-party matters to the leadership of the party, so that every party has its own internal mechanisms for resolution of conflicts. Allow those to the parties, and when it is done, and the person in issue, who is the antagonist in this case now, is uncomfortable with the decision of the party, then that person has the right to leave the party. And that's why you have seen the word that the party is supreme. And we have had that over time. In Rivers State here, for instance, there was a period when we were asking, look, we need to have a Congress where we will elect the governorship candidate. Overnight, a committee was set up of 19. They called them 19 wise men. They went and chose one person and made him candidate of the party. And when some of us shouted, they said no, that the party was supreme. So now the issue right now is that this is National Working Committee, not even the states. The other time it was the state that did it, and we all agreed because the party was supreme. That's how Tony Eko became candidate of the party. Party was supreme. Okay? So all other candidates, or rather all other aspirants who were in that race were stopped from doing anything further because party was supreme. Take this scenario again. I am not in contest with Emeka Bekele because we contested election. It's not. I'm not talking about parallel leadership here. We're talking about a leadership that was dissolved, and a caretaker committee, which I lead, thrown up. So is that clear? Does it make anything clear? So to say that the party is supporting me over and above Emeka Bekele is neither here nor there. Emeka Bekele and his some of his ESCO members were dissolved when the party got convinced that they were indulged or they engaged in anti-party activities in the state. First, the State Working Committee of River State Working Committee, who are members of the same ESCO with Emeka Bekele and so on, first and foremost, suspended him for anti-party activity, intra first. And then they went to court to solidify it, and the court gave a judgment. That judgment, Emeka tried to appeal it, but abandoned it. That judgment is still subsisting. And in law, what the rule is that the judgment that is first in time, the judgment that is first in time is the one that outside Emeka Bekele, which he tried to challenge and abandon at the court of appeal. So it's not about the parallel leadership where the party was okay, was supporting. No, party dissolved him and appointed me. Any action, any activity that negates or is antithetical to what we are doing is an affront to the party. So I don't know what else anybody will see.
You are definitely also rejecting concern, or also making a concern that the former Minister Amaechi is also trying in a way to impose leadership structure within the Rivers State. He also looks that it's also in a bid for 2027 election. But clearly, you could understand that that was a statement of the court. They went to the court, and then, of course, they got judgment. Why do you feel that Amaechi is behind all of this action?
Oh, come on. Are we, one of my friends, one of my lawyer friends, very profound, we always try to make some fun. He say, are we a small children who have been in this business for crying out loud? I'm not a neophyte in this business.
If Emeka is calling former Minister Amaechi a leader, probably because he had gotten his support then when he was contesting for the chairmanship position. Why do you feel that he's still validating up to now?
That should be a question you ask Emeka, because you have forgotten that times have passed, times have changed. It should the question you ask him. He should ask himself, why is it that Amaechi, who was minister for 7.5 years under APC, who was an aspirant to the presidential ticket of APC, who came with those distant second, did not support his own party in that same election. Can I tell you a thing? That we had the presidential campaigns, and I'm sure you are aware, we had presidential campaigns in the 36 states and Abuja. That the one in Rivers State where Amaechi is or was the leader, Amaechi did not attend. And he did not participate. He didn't even put a dime. He didn't put a dime to it. He never partook in the planning, neither did he attend the event. And as on election, eve of election, he had ordered his supporters to go and vote for Atiku Abubakar. And so what is this whole thing about? The only thing, again, they are trying to do is to see whether they can use APC Rivers State as a launching pad. And at the end of it, they will throw us into another opposition in 2027. It will never work. It will not happen. We know all of those. All of those trappings are clear. And like I said to you, we are not children.
So what's your concern? Because it now looks that because the current minister, Nyesom Wike, is not in the good books with our former minister, Amaechi. And now that it looks that, because some people are saying that it looks Wike is also supporting your move as a caretaker committee chairman. Is it also a transfer of grievances? Because this is your party. You want the party to win the next election. It means that everybody matters, both those that are in a matrix camp and those that are in your camp. Don't you feel that the consideration of this issue of both interests about Wike and Amaechi is probably fueling all of this concern?
Neither Wike nor Amaechi is a member of APC.
You mean Amaechi is not a member of APC? Former minister and former leader of Rivers State APC? All right, so we'll try to get in contact with the chairman to give us more understanding on that particular issues and concern as to what is happening in APC Rivers State. He is a caretaker committee chairman that the court has said that no more, we just have to hold on for now, that the reinstated the chairman, the real chairman of the APC should resume office as a chairman. But a lot of controversies and concern about the grounds he was suspended, the grounds he was sacked as the chairman and all of those. There have been there have been litigation cases and all of those interventions. But the National Working Committee have been out to say, continue as the chairman of the caretaker committee. And what happens to the judgment of the court? That has been the interpretation and issue. We'll try as much as possible to establish him to give us more insight. But for now, let's go on a break. I'll be right back.
Okay, go for a break.
This one is low, full price.
All right, many thanks everyone for still staying with us on Big Talk. We're trying to get more perspective to what is, going on in the Rivers State politics of APC. The caretaker committee chairman is still with us, Okocha. Mr. Okocha, I was trying to get your reaction. You said Amaechi is neither Amaechi or Wike is a member of APC. And I'm confirming, because the last we checked, Amaechi is a card-carrying member of All Progressive Congress, a man who has been one of the state by financing the affairs of the state for many years. You can count on.
He's watching it live. He's watching it live.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chief? Chief, can you hear me clearly? All right, the break in transmission, and of course, I'm trying to get.
I think there's some kind of network problem, but I heard you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. Chief Tony, you can go ahead, please.
I can hear you clearly. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I need to be sure. Okay, thank you so much. I was saying that any reference to Wike and APC in Rivers State is defeatist. You know, I think the reason why anybody would have said so is because once Amaechi and his group tilted towards the Atiku for the presidential election, Wike and his group worked for the success of Tinubu in Rivers State. And he is a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was candidate of the APC. And so I don't understand the link when they say, if they say yes, Wike is working with the Tinubu and all that, I will grant. You all know, Nigerians all know. But to say that Wike is the person underwriting or supporting me and all of those in APC, that is defeatist. You know, when you defeat a man and he has nothing else to say, when two people are fighting and the other one start to throw sand at the other one is tired. So that's my explanation on it. And then on the issue of funding of APC, tomorrow we are going to have an expanded stakeholders meeting at the party secretariat. I wish that you will send your people to come and see what is going to happen. The antagonism or the criticism from the party have led to the destruction of the party whilst the rally was, the protest was going on. And we had said many times and over that protest in Rivers State that was so sustained, that became permanent, that became perennial, that became perpetual, was sponsored by the governor of the state. And of course, that made him the only beneficiary of that protest. And in course of the so-called protest that was faceless, our party was the only party in the state that they came to destroy.
All right, Chief. Moving forward, I'm looking at the statistics of the victory in Rivers State in terms of the presidential election. Very clearly, APC won from the statistics we have here. And now, with the situation in the country and the concern, what is your feedback you get from those who supported and voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president for Rivers State? Do you feel that APC can be able to secure this vote again for 2027? Chief Tony, can you hear me? All right, we'll try as much as possible to get his concern and reaction, as because he is a very strong stakeholder as far as that issue is concerned. We had to know clearly what happens
We
within the
are
party,
growing in leaps
what
and
has been the
bounds.
reactions of behind. All right, Chief.
Yeah, I can hear
I was
you.
asking
I don't know.
about.
Can you hear me?
Okay, Chief, please go ahead. If you get my question, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Chief.
Hello?
Chief, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Chief, I can hear you. Please go ahead, please.
Okay, please. Let me say this. We are saying that by 2027, the votes that were churned out from River State will be triple times the votes we had for Tinubu in 2023. We are growing in leaps and in bounds. I don't know if you hear me.
Yeah, with these
Hello?
issues of internal party crisis,
Hello?
with the issues of hardship in the country, do you feel that your party will gather such a vote again?
No, please. In our party, we don't have intra-party matter. Please, it is not. It is infinite. And that is when the number of person is negligible, when the number of people it is very infinitesimal. You don't reckon that is intra-party. No. And however, in River State, to come and say just expanded stakeholders meeting tomorrow and see what happens. I also made reference to the event that was held in River State on the 13th, if I remember vividly, on the 13th of August, the rally, pro-Tinubu rally that was organized by a coalition of Renewed Hope Family in River State. I'm making references to this. And these are pointers. These are what we call, the military will call show of force. So in the next election, 2027, if River State scored 44% for Mr. President, and I'm sure you know that River State is the only state in the 11 states of the South, South, and Southeast that actually delivered from Mr. President. It is unprecedented. It is James breaking. Are you there?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please, Chief.
You are here. Okay. Yeah, so it is, I said, River State is the only state out of 11 states of South, South, and Southeast that delivered outrightly for president. I'm not talking about 25%. Okay? So what has happened is the fact that because there are also benefits that have accrued, unprecedented benefits that have accrued under Tinubu's regime as president of Nigeria. As we speak, 1 year had just passed. We have had over 18 appointments from River State. So what don't you think? Why don't you think that those will also translate to actions? So we are given here from Mr. President, and we'll deliver and deliver again. Okay, it was not a fluke. It was not some kind of magic. It was properly planned and properly hashed and properly executed. So River State is for.
All right, let me, before we run up on that particular interaction, because there are people that are saying that it looks that Wike is trying to control PDP and is also trying to control APC. It's neither in PDP, it's neither in APC, as we know, of course, last confirmation. Or you can say he's a member of the People's Democratic Party, but not yet confirmed as a member of APC. Does it look that that is the situation from Nyesom Wike?
No, you have answered the question already. You said you are aware that he's PDP. I'm not aware that he's APC.
Yeah, if he's a member of PDP, because there are a lot of interpretation about he's working with President Bola Tinubu. He probably supported President Bola Tinubu in the last election to win in Rivers State. Now it looks that from what is going on in your party and the fact that is probably also in support of your move, which you don't want to accept, that he's trying to get charge of PDP and APC in Rivers.
Oh, come on. I do not think that there is anything, any premise. Are you there?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Hello? Yes, there is no premise to support the conclusion of what you have just said. There's no premise. Any argument that cannot stem from the premise to the conclusion is to that extent, unsound. It's inconsequential. It doesn't work. It's not argument at all.
I'm saying from what the people are saying, from all the analysis it looks, this is the governor then in Rivers State that made sure Tinubu won in Rivers State. So it therefore means that he had supported APC to win in Rivers State. From what all indications right now, due to the fact that the governor is no more in terms with with former governor Wike, it now looks that he still want to control PDP with what is going on in the internal politics of PDP and in APC. Give me an understanding. Deny this claim and all of that.
That's what you know. So no, you don't say what the people are saying. You say people are saying it is.
All right. Thanks so much, Chief Tony. We'll try as much as possible to probably get it because of breakdown in the network connection. Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again on the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much. I think the next time we'll talk, let's have a good network so that
no problem, Chief. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And I will get over to another issues. Very briefly, concern about the seizure of the presidential jet, the concern about the state former two governors who are also making a lot of concern about the investment, the contract and concern. But there are those who are saying that state also engaged in foreign contracts, foreign direct investment to their state in a way of also boosting their IGR and all of that. To what end did it look that in Ogun State, where it's now a national embarrassment for our presidential jet to be seized, and the country is on the grounds of a state-to-state investment and all of those controversies? Tonight, very quickly, I'm being joined by a human rights activist and a legal practitioner who joins us from Lagos in Iberia. Effiong, thanks so much for joining us on the program tonight on Big Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Probably we will need a legal understanding about what is going on. Is a national embarrassment from all indications. Now the two governors have accepted and are trying to make some explanation. It's not working for Nigeria. The image of the country is also at stake. What is your concern about that issue, please?
Well, I think it's a question of political leadership, essentially. What has happened is that the government of Ogun State had entered into a contract, and of course the federal government was also involved, for the free trade zone that was to be built in Ogun State with this firm, this Chinese firm. It appears from all indication, from what we have now learned, that the agreement between the Chinese company Zhongshan and Ogun State government over management of the export processing zone, which came into existence in 2001. The government had breached, the Nigerian government, particularly the Ogun State government, had not kept to their own contractual obligations. And that accounts for the disputes that arose, which resulted in the termination of the contract in 2016 by the Ogun State government, leading to a legal battle. Sometime in 2021, after years of arbitration, the arbitral tribunal found and ruled in favor of the Chinese firm and awarded, I think, about $70 million in damages against the Ogun State government. So essentially what the firm has done is to deploy international legal instruments to target assets and properties of the Ogun State government abroad, not just the Ogun State, Nigerian government, with the purpose, with the intent of recovering the amount, the award that was made in his favor. That led to the seizure of these 3 presidential aircraft. But let me even comment about the aircraft. The aircraft that were seized includes one that was just newly bought and acquired by the Tinubu regime. It is reported that the regime paid about $150 billionaire to purchase it, despite the economic downturn in the country, despite what the country is facing. So I find that particularly appalling that at the time that the economy is basically collapsing.
All right, Barrister, we can hear you clearly. Please go ahead, please. All right, a very
time
big
of heightened
concern
inflation,
about the
at the
seizures
time that
of
our countrymen don't
presidential
have what to
jets
eat.
on the grounds
But
of
this is
Ogun
also
State.
a reminder.
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying that this is also a reminder that we have an irresponsible political class in our country that does not appreciate the importance of honoring agreements. The Nigerian government continuously breaches contractual agreements, and in many instances, contracts are used as an opportunity for self-enrichment. So I will not be surprised if we dig in, we may just realize that this was again another act of sabotage of the interest of Nigeria and that of the people of Ogun State.
All right, because you just pointed about issues of the purchase of a presidential jet in the grounds of what is happening in our economy. There are those who said that we don't want a scenario of what happened to, other leaders as a result of their aircraft failing and all of those issues, technicality. So are you not concerned that, if they have the explanation that the old ones we have were not working, it's taking high cost to maintain them, so the reason why they have to purchase new ones, do you feel that our president does not deserve that protection? All right, as much as possible, we'll get the reaction of Barrister Efeong, a legal practitioner, to give us a concern about that. But for now, let's go on a break, and once we return from the break, the conversation continue on Big Talk. Do stay with us. Many thanks, everyone, for staying with us on Big Talk. And of course, as we begin to wrap up on the program, let's get the final perspective on what is best for state in terms of engagement with foreign contract and all of that, because we know that government is a continuation, while these other administrations definitely have to continue from where the other had stopped. But what really has played out with the two administrations of Ogun State is now causing a lot of national embarrassment, which Bryce and Ibere is still with us to give us a final take on what is best in terms of negotiations with foreign contractors, just as what has really played out with a Chinese company. What do you think is the best way to go about all of this to avoid such future occurrences?
Well, there are two things. The first is that I think it is very important for an inquiry to be conducted to determine why Nigeria was negligent in the way this case was handled. Nigeria had sought last year, in March last year, to basically avoid liability on the basis of what is called the principle of state immunity. That case was pursued in the High Court in the UK. However, the court gave Nigeria the time within which to file its papers. That time elapsed, Nigeria did not. So Nigeria has not been diligent in prosecuting the matter. I suspect complicity by people in government. I believe the former Attorney General of the Federation has questions to answer. I think Malami should answer for that. The second point I want to make is that it looks as if Nigeria may have to find an out-of-court resolution to this matter. Diplomatic engagements, diplomatic channels will have to be explored to see how this can be resolved, because ultimately it is the Nigerian people that will suffer for it. It is the resources of our country that is being frittered away. So I suspect that the way out of this might just be negotiation and diplomatic engagement. But ultimately, as I said, people must be held accountable for this unpatriotic and very wicked act that has been committed against our country.
All right. Finally, you were trying to make a comment about the purchase of a presidential air fleet. Federal government have just disclosed that to us. This has been an issue where many persons are asking the National Assembly. We didn't see where the National Assembly had approved. So do you feel, from what indication they're saying, we have bought it at a better price compared to cost of maintaining the old one? Don't you feel that this is justifiable enough away from the economy situation?
No. First and foremost, to the best of my knowledge, no budgetary provision was made for the acquisition of a new aircraft. Secondly, it smacks of criminality for any regime to even contemplate purchasing a new aircraft to add to what is already in the presidential fleet. The country is barely surviving. People are looking for what to eat. In Lagos today, there is no fuel. The country has basically been brought to its knees on account of the greed of people in power. So for this president to go ahead to buy this aircraft, despite the protestation of Nigerians, it shows how insensitive the government is. I condemn it in its entirety. There is no justification for it. It is a height of insensitivity. This should never have happened. But of course, this is a Milocon regime. He told us it was his turn and he's living up to it. But that is really unfortunate for our country.
Many thanks, Bryce Idibere, for the very short stay. We appreciate your time, finding out time out of your busy schedule to join us on the program Big Talk tonight. We look forward again for other robust engagement.
Thank you. Thank you. My regards.
All right, and of course, that's where we draw the curtain on tonight's Big Talk. Looking forward again joining us tomorrow so that we can get more perspective to what is happening in the nations and the concern of stakeholders. Thanks so much. You can always follow the conversation on YouTube or Global TV NG and other social media platforms while watching us on DSTV 365 and Star Times channel 276. My name is Edikan Michael, your host. See you again tomorrow.